Hey there, listeners, viewers. It's been a while since I made a video. I am in Stockholm, Sweden right now in my adorable little house. I am just coming back from, now I've been here for 3 weeks. It's July 2nd, 2024. And I left Costa Rica June 22nd. And I headed to Peru for a 10-day ayahuasca retreat where I did 4 ceremonies of ayahuasca, one of San Pedro, and I also did a bufo ceremony. And then right after that, I visited my family, which I have not seen in 7 years. So if you've been watching any of my videos or know anything about me, I come from a religiously divided household. So my mom is Jehovah's Witness, my father is Catholic. I was born Catholic, and I became a Jehovah's Witness with my mom. My mom became a Jehovah's Witness when I was 6, and my 2 older sisters never became a Jehovah's Witness. And then I got disfellowshipped in December 2011. And yeah, I've been creating these interviews on here for about 2 years. It's been awesome. I've interviewed around 100 people in these 2 years, which is really crazy. I'm making this video because I wanted to give you an update about something that happened to me when I was in Michigan. So you know the new rule about the Jehovah's Witnesses, they're now allowed to talk to the disfellowshipped people that have been disfellowshipped. Well, since I've been disfellowshipped, my mom had not spoken to me in 12 and a half years. When I went back home to visit my family, she wanted to speak to me. And, my dad told me she wanted to speak to me. So what happened was I told my dad that if my mom wants to speak to me, it's going to have to be a real conversation. And I'm going to be really vulnerable and honest with her about things that I've been through and how I feel right now. And so that's what happened. She was up for it, and I told him I wanted to speak to her privately. So we went in her room a couple days, I think like the day after, and I was there for 6 days. I was back in Michigan for 6 days in the Detroit metro area where I grew up and spent most of my life. And then, she talked to me, and I explained to her why I feel like I became a Jehovah's Witness, and I followed her lead. I told her about my first marriage and why it ended. I was married for 8 years to another Jehovah's Witness. And then I told her about my sexual abuse, which she said she already knew about because I had been public about it on social media. And so this was somebody that I was engaged to when I was 19 that did this to me. And now I'm 44. She said that he got disfellowshipped for it 2 years ago. So that was over 20 years later that he got disfellowshipped. I'm like, what? Yeah, so I talked to her in detail about what happened in that experience, and it happened more than one time. And she's like, that's why the Jehovah's Witnesses tell you that you're not supposed to be alone. It's like, oh, whatever. And then I told her, don't you think that me and my sisters seeing dad drink and abuse you had an effect on us? And she says to me, well, I only know about it recently because I read about it in the Jehovah's Witness literature. And I was like, okay, so you're telling me that you needed to read that your husband drinking and beating you has an effect on your children in the Jehovah's Witness literature? Like, don't you know that? It's common sense. That's common sense that would affect your children. Yeah, we just talked about other things too. The moment I started talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, which I did not talk about very much, I did say a little bit about the pedophiles in the organization, and she said that was apostate, and she was getting mad at me. So I steered the conversation in a different direction, and I stayed true to how I feel and how I'm doing right now, and that I have a beautiful relationship with God, and she also got a little irate. She said, how can you have a relationship with God if you don't read the Bible? You know what? I don't want to argue with her. So I said, well, I do. And I'm sorry that you believe that. I have to read the Bible in order to have a relationship with God, because I have the best. I have a relationship 10 times stronger today than I ever did as a Jehovah's Witness. And it has nothing to do with the Bible or going to the meetings or being a witness or any of that stuff. I just have a deep sense of inner knowing that I have a relationship with God, the universe, the divine, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so after 12 and a half years of her totally shunning me, we had this beautiful conversation. It was really raw, really vulnerable, and I feel like I've done so much work around working through my issues of living with a narcissistic mother that I thought I was going to lose my shit. I thought I was going to cry. I thought I was going to maybe even get angry. That's why I told her I wanted to talk to her privately. And I was so calm. I was so calm. She was the one who lost it a little bit. I actually held her and she was crying. But I was okay. And there was so much that came up during that time that I had to still process, that here we are 3 weeks later. I come home to Sweden, and I have 2 new psoriasis spots on both my eyes, one here and literally one here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like literally right there. And that happened probably a couple days after I got here. It was my body's way of saying that that environment felt scary. And I am still processing the things that came up during that trip, because not only did I speak to my mom, who I haven't not spoken to in 12 and a half years, I also stayed with my sister, who I haven't seen in 7 years. I haven't been back to Michigan in 7 years. And my father, who the only reason why I went to Michigan is I switched my flight from Peru to Stockholm because my dad said he wasn't feeling well. My dad is 87 years old. He's an old Middle Eastern man, Chaldean man, and he is doing the best I've ever seen him. He's so happy, he's so open, and he answers some of the questions that on my last trip, because I was asking him about his father and how he died, because my dad's dad died when he was 19, 20 years old. And I asked him about it last time, and my dad did not want to answer. He got mad at me when I asked him last time. And this time when I asked him, he was so open and so honest and so vulnerable. And I mean, he didn't cry or anything like that. And I didn't ask him anything crazy, but he did tell me how he died, which I'm still on the fence about. And yeah, it was just a really, sorry, I should have brought my tripod, but I just wanted to make this video feel really natural. I'm sharing this video because I never in a million years thought my mom was going to reconnect with me, in a million years. And she did. And she did. And she even told me, she asked me to message her when I got to the airport in Detroit, and then when I got to Stockholm, which is a huge thing. And I have. She hasn't contacted me since. I'm not expecting her to. I do, however, want to go back and visit Michigan maybe next summer. We'll see. But yeah, never say never. And I feel so grateful that I was able to reconnect with her after all these years, 12 and a half years. My life has completely changed. And I hope that my dad saw how calm and how much I've worked on myself in these last 12 and a half years, because there's just been so much inner work that I've done to deal with all my past. And yeah. All right. I hope you guys are having a great day. It is Tuesday evening here in Stockholm, and it's bright. This is how it looks like at like 10 o'clock. The sun is always out after midsummer, which was last week. It's bright like this. It's dark for a little bit, but then the sun rises at like 3:30 a.m. So it is a little difficult to sleep in. Okay, I wanted to make this video and now I did. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this gives you some hope if you are on this fence about, like, I wonder if anyone's going to reach out to me. It's been about 3 months since they made that announcement at the Kingdom Hall, and here my mom just reached out to me and we connected 3 weeks ago. So yeah, sending you guys so much love and so much healing energy. Until next time.